Hey everyone, how's it going? Cloud here, and welcome to my guide on the Horror from the Deep quest. Now, for this quest you're going to need the following requirements. So there are no quest specific requirements, however you must complete a specific mini quest, which is the bar crawl mini quest. Basically you go around Guylanor at different pubs and have to complete a bar crawl challenge. Now in the description below I do have a guide on how to do the bar crawl mini quest. I definitely recommend doing it now before you start the actual quest, otherwise you'll get about halfway through and you'll need to go and do the mini quest before you can carry on, and it's a right pain. So definitely do that now if you haven't done so already. And the only other requirement is you need level 35 agility. It can be boosted, but you need to use a specific obstacle quite a few times, so you'll need to bring a few boosts with you if that is the case. If you have the level, 43 prayer will come in handy, but it's not a requirement. You can defeat the boss without it. It just might mean you'll need a few more resources than you would. That is it for the requirements. Now for the items. So these are what you're going to need in total. So 60 steel nails. You'll also need 2 normal planks, however they can be obtained during the quest, which I'll show you where to find. You will need some molten glass, 1 swamp tar. You will need a tinderbox in your inventory. The tool belt doesn't work. Now you'll notice in my inventory now I don't actually currently have tinderbox. I was under the impression the tool belt did work, but it doesn't. So make sure you have got an actual tinderbox in your inventory, otherwise you have to do what I did and go to the bank halfway through. You will also need 1 fire rune, 1 water rune, 1 earth rune, 1 air rune, a sword of any type that you are willing to use, and an arrow of any type except for ogre and training, which you are willing to lose. Basically there will be a bit where you use the mentioned items on a door to open it, and you will basically lose whatever you put in the door. So 1 each of the elemental runes, you'll lose whatever sword you put in the door, and you'll lose what arrow. So for me, I just bought a bronze sword and a bronze arrow, job done. And as for recommended, a games necklace will help you get to and from the quest location quite quickly, so I definitely bring a fully charged games necklace. Also, I recommend you bring a weapon and armour based on each combat style. So basically the boss you'll be fighting changes what it's weak to, and any other combat related attack won't have any effect on it apart from this specific one. So at one point it will only be weak to melee attacks. Ideally a slash weapon is going to be your best option here. It will then change where a ranged weapon will hurt it, so ideally thrown weapons are meant to be pretty useful against it. However, bow or crossbow will help as well, any range type weapon. And then it can also change into each of the elemental spells, so you want to bring runes to be able to cast the best elemental spell you can, so obviously fire, earth, air and water. I bought a couple of pieces of armor around that combat style. So obviously you can see I'm wearing my full melee armor now. I also bought a ranged type body and legs to be able to switch to when I use my ranged attacks on it, and vice versa. I bought a magic top and bottom to be able to use when I use the elemental. But again, you know, it's completely up to you. But you can defeat it without having to keep switching combat styles, but it will take you a lot longer. If you bring each of the combat styles that I mentioned, then you can defeat it very quickly, as you'll see me do in the video. So the monsters you're defeating are a level 100 baby Dagganoth and a level 84 Dagganoth mother, the mother being the one that changes the forms, but we'll speak about that a bit further on during the quest. So that is it for requirements and items. Now onto the quest starting point. So I'm currently at the Barbarian Outpost, which you can get to quickly by using your games necklace and choosing to teleport to the Barbarian Outpost. So I definitely recommend bringing that with you. Also, I would recommend, if you don't have it already, if you haven't got full access to the Lodestone network, I have a guide in the description below, and that comes in handy for quite a lot of quests as well. And I believe I travel a bit using that during this quest too. But for the quest start point, we need to go directly north from where we are now, and you'll notice you'll come up against some basalt rocks, and you need to jump over them to reach towards the lighthouse. Now, there is a chance you can fall off a couple of times while trying to travel the first bit. Higher agility does help, but at the same time it is random as well, so if you just keep having an attempt at it, you will eventually get across the basalt rocks and end up on the other side near the lighthouse. Once you're at the lighthouse, go speak to the woman standing outside called Larissa to start the quest. So, Larissa tells you that she thinks her boyfriend, who resides in the lighthouse, has gone missing as she hasn't seen him for a few days. To further her fears, the light is switched off and the front door is bolted shut, which she says is unlike him. Larissa will suggest you speak to Gunjorn at the Barbarian Outpost for a spare key to the lighthouse and also to fix the broken bridge to the east. So if you use your game's necklace just to teleport back to the Barbarian Outpost and then head east where the agility icon is, you want to go through the gate and we need to find Gunjorn in the agility area. Now this is the part where you need to have completed the Barb Crawl mini quest, as it's a requirement to use the Barbarian's agility area, so if you haven't completed it they won't let you in. So hopefully you had followed my advice and made sure it was completed before doing this bit, but go through and you'll notice there's an agility pipe in the wall. If you climb through that, you should then find Gunjorn in that area and you want to speak to him. So once you've spoken to him and got the key, you want to go outside the outpost again, and you'll notice directly north from where the outpost was, there's some planks across the beach. You want to pick 2 of those up, as we're going to use these to now fix the bridge. Once you made sure you've got them in your inventory and the lighthouse key, go travel across the basalt rocks again till you get to the other side of the lighthouse. Once you're back at the lighthouse, if you keep following the path east, you'll eventually come up to a broken bridge. You need to use 1 plank on one side of the bridge. It should come up with a repair option if you hover the cursor around it. Once you've repaired the side closest to you, you then need to jump over the bridge to repair the opposite side, and once that's done successfully, you should be able to then shimmy across the bridge each time, and obviously civilians and other travellers can now do that as well, so you have technically fixed the bridge. Once you've done that, go back to the lighthouse and speak to Larissa again, who now tells you to enter the lighthouse and search for Jagex inside. Once you're in there, if you climb to the first floor and search the bookcase, you want to retrieve and flip through the lighthouse manual, the ancient diary and Jagex diary, which will tell you about the lighthouse and its inhabitants. Then you want to go to the very top level where the lens for the lighthouse is. You want to use the Molten Glass and Swamp Tar on the lighting mechanism, and then you want to use your Tinderbox on the lighting mechanism. Like I said, it won't come up with the option to light it if it's in your tool belt. You have to actually have it in your inventory. So now we've repaired the lighthouse, we need to go find where Jagex is. So you want to go right down to the basement of the lighthouse. So go down to the ground floor where you were before, then you should see a trapdoor or a ladder, so then go down again. Head through the cavern and you'll come across a strange wall having 6 empty slots on its frame. Now this is the part where you need to use the mentioned items I said you'd lose. So you need to use 1 of each of the elemental runes: fire, water, earth and air. You then need to use a sword and arrow, which you are willing to lose, on the door. Once you've done all 6 locks on it, you should be able to then go through the door. This is your last chance to prepare for the fight, so if you need to now, go get some more food or equipment or whatever you're going to need to be able to defeat the Dagannoth baby and the Dagannoth mother, and then when you're ready, head through the door. Once you've gone through the wall and gone down the ladder, you'll find Jagex alive but hurt and resting against the dungeon wall. He tells you that he was searching for something, but then was attacked by a monster who was able to trap him there. As he is talking, he announces the monster is coming back and the Dagannoth baby will submerge from the water, and you need to dispose of it. Now the Dagannoth baby you should have no problems with at all. I think it just literally attacks with the 1 combat style, and if you're using melee you'll probably dispatch of it even quicker. That's not a difficult fight. After you defeat it, you try to help Jagex up to the surface, and he tells you that that wasn't the monster that attacked him, and a cutscene will take place that shows the Dagannoth mother emerging from the cavern, and you now need to defeat her. So the Dagannoth mother uses both ranged and melee, however her ranged attack is more accurate regarding despite whatever level you are, so it is recommended to use protect from missiles if you have the ability to do so. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the quest, the Dagannoth mother will keep changing colours, and this results in what she is weak to and what is immune to. So when she changes to a certain colour, only the relevant attack style will be able to do any damage to her, otherwise you will just keep hitting zeros. So she changes colours in any order. I believe she always starts as white though, from what I've investigated, meaning if that is the case, you want to be attacking with air type spells straight away at the beginning beginning to get some damage in before she starts changing colours. After that point, it's all random. So if she changes to white, you want to use air elemental spells. If she changes blue, you want to use water elemental spells. If she changes brown, you want to use earth spells. If she then changes to red, you want to use fire spells. If she changes to orange, you want to use melee attacks. The red and orange are quite hard to tell the difference from if you've got a certain screen quality or colour, etc. I fell for it during this. It doesn't matter though, she only just changes in a certain form for about 15 seconds I think max, so she will change forms again if you find you are hitting zeros, and then finally if she turns green, she uses she's weak against ranged attacks. So basically the best tactic with it is if you just keep doing auto retaliate on her every time she changes forms. Just change your equipment in your inventory. So if you're currently using melee, then she changes that to green, so she's weak against range. Just quickly equip your ranged weapon and your ranged armour, and your character should be automatically attacking her at the same time, so not so much cursor movement then. And obviously the same with if she then changes to weak against magic, just quickly equip whatever magic equipment you bought, and then just change your elemental spells to whatever she's weak against. If you have the protect from missiles on, that will help lessen the amount of damage you're being taken, and again just keep an eye on your health, making sure it doesn't get too low and just eating when need be. But to be honest, she's really not that difficult. I think the thing that will make it difficult is if you've only bought like 2 combat styles to attack with. That means that you can only hurt her 2 out of 6 times, which will take longer, hence you will take more damage. So but you'll see I dispatch of her pretty quickly in that, just by alternating my attack styles all the time. So hopefully you shouldn't have too much difficulty with her. So as soon as you kill her, you and Jagex will exit the dungeon. It will come up, congratulations, you have survived the horror from the deep. You are awarded 2 quest points, 4,662 experience in magic, strength and range, a god book of your choice, the Dagonoth Mother is unlocked in Dominion Tower, access to the Lighthouse General Store and the Dagonoth Caves underneath, 2 treasure keys and 2 hearts of ice. So the God Book reward you get from this is originally in the form of a rusty casket, and as you go to open it, Jagex will tell you what you think it reads. Now depending on what you pick on the option is what book you'll get, so you'll have 2 chances just to confirm what one you want, so they'll make sure you don't accidentally pick the wrong one. So you can ask for either a holy book which represents Saradomin, an unholy book which represents Zamorak, or a book of balance which represents Guthix. A holy book gives +8 to all defensive equipment stats, and an unholy book gives +8 to all offensive equipment stats, and a book of balance gives +4 to both. So it's completely up to you what book you pick. After you've picked that book, you can complete it and improve its stats by collecting relevant pages for it, which are mostly obtained through treasure trails, but you can buy them on the Grand Exchange as well. I believe the Zamorak pages are worth more because they give more melee offensive stats compared to the other ones and that. But basically, once you have obtained all 4 pages for a book and completed it, you can then go get another one from Jagex, or different ones. So it is possible to get all 3 books and that, and I believe there's other books you can get as well that represent Bandos, Armadil, Zaros, etc. So yeah, overall, not really a difficult quest. It's quite a short one, to be honest with you. The long bit is really the fight, and again, as I said, if you don't bring all the different combat styles with you, then you will find the fight takes a lot longer because you can't harm the Dagonoth Mother so much. But hopefully, if you follow what I did, you should complete it pretty easy, and I definitely remember it was a lot harder for me to defeat her before with my main account and that, because I didn't bring enough combat stats with me, so not combat stats, sorry, combat styles. So I definitely recommend doing what I did there if you have the ability to do so. But yeah, other than that, I don't think you'll get stuck following this guide. However, if you do run into any problems at all, leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll help you out as best as I can. If not, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, favourite, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Cheers guys, bye bye.